BTS is the template by which future Western artists and many other musical acts will try to garner commercial success globally. Many artists globally will join Weverse and other platforms of its kind, connecting artists directly with fans and their management companies with fans. Concert experience will change to something akin to a festival, exactly how BTS has started doing it. Releases will be more frequent. Half of a decade of a gap between releases won't cut it anymore. There will be more activities, products, and releases outside of music to keep the fans engaged. Many acts will actually create their own narratives. They will emphasize the message behind the songs, tie different marketing materials to create stories, narratives, and messages, and their own universes where they will base their merch materials and other non-musical ventures. Management companies who will get this down will have their artists achieve global commercial success. And when I say global, I really mean all over the world. What I don't mean when I say global is mainstream. Because mainstream, global, and local labels will fight to death to make sure mainstream's biggest acts come from them. And if that means strengthening their relationship with mainstream media, then so be it. That being said, in the long run, global financial success will heavily tilt towards non-mainstream labels and independent artists. Along with that is the rise of new type of media, one that is heavily influenced by the fans. We will see the rise of independent media personalities that will specialize in specific topics. It won't be perfect and certainly won't be painless, but it's exciting, unpredictable, and absolutely unstoppable. 2024 prediction. So remember, this is just for fun. Some of you wanted me to do it again. I did it for 2023. Remember, I don't have any kind of third eye or a crystal ball or any kind of X-Men-like ability to see the future. But this is just based actually on analysis, logical thinking, based on what's happening right now. This is what I think is going to happen for 2024. All for fun, but I do hope that you enjoy it. If you end up liking this video, please give it a like. Also subscribe and hit that notification button, and share the video if you can. Direct to fans. This one is one of the most critical contributions of BTS in the global music industry. For decades, announcement and artist communications have been coursed through the media. The management company would send out press releases. There could be a press junket or a press conference as well. If the artist is big enough, they'll appear in several regular TV shows like late-night talk shows or variety ones like Saturday Night Live. There have been attempts to bypass the media before. Apps like Bubble and events like fan meets have provided fans with an opportunity to communicate with their favorite artists directly. Social media has allowed artists to directly respond to fan questions and queries. Instagram and Twitter have been the most popular platforms for this. Streaming platforms like YouTube, VLive, and several local ones, however, were major developments. It provided artists an opportunity to directly create their own content and upload it for the consumption of their own fans. It seems that despite all of these technologies, there is still a wall between the fans and the artist. It seemed that the dynamic didn't change. Artists or the management company will still create the content and fans were actually just supposed to watch it. It was BTS and Weverse that completely changed the game. First, the concept of Weverse streaming is obviously nothing new. VLive actually provided the same technical services. They allowed artists to directly stream. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and other streaming platforms allowed artists to directly respond to fan questions and requests. The technology in essence, however, is nothing if not properly used. That's what BTS did. They used the technology properly. They used it correctly, and I will argue it's probably because they had the right intentions. It was how BTS used it that showed its full potential. BTS didn't just use it to post messages or announcements directly to their fans. They actually regularly stream to fans specifically right before or right after an important milestones. Instead of going to after parties, BTS opted to spend their time with armies, proving that their fans are their priorities in their most important moments, not other celebrities or the media. That strengthened the loyalty of their fans. BTS also unwittingly disempowered the media and controlled their own narrative completely. Aside from a few leaks, fans get their information directly from BTS and Big Hit. Media became a second fiddle, always falling behind the fans in providing context. The problem is that this level of commitment and connection cannot be forced. There are a lot of artists already on Weverse. The system is there, all set up for them to be able to reach out to their fans. And yet, there's only a handful of artists that regularly communicate with their fans, let alone share their most victorious moments with their fans. Labels, management, and companies, however, and of course the artists, will see the power of directly communicating with their fans. This will prompt the development of platforms with same technical features as Weverse. But it's only the artists who know to properly use that technology that will garner a strong amount of loyalty from their fans. Festivals, not concerts. Concert experience will change to something akin to a festival, exactly how BTS started doing it. While merch selling is common in concerts, creating a festival-like experience has never really happened unless it's a real festival. Events like exhibits, special pre- and post-events, contests, and special releases specifically in relation to the concert will become more common. Western artists might utilize partnerships with brands, specifically those with retail stores, for a wider and easier rollout. Quantity and quality. The founder and CEO of Spotify, Daniel Ek, said that, and I quote, "Some artists that used to do well in the past may not do well in the future landscape where you can't record music once every 3 to 4 years and think that's going to be enough." This statement has been met with some violent reaction. Dee Snider, frontman of the band The Twisted Sisters, said that X should be taken out and shot. He said that the statement is insulting and belittling. Snyder said, and I quote, "Spotify, the wholesaler, you paid the 1 monthly fee format, we're getting so little. And that guy from Spotify, he should be taken out and shot." When he heard the artists were complaining about how little we were paid, his response was, "Make more music like we're producing cans of Coke." He further explained that licensing, specifically synchronization, is the only thing that's making him money right now. Steven Spielberg used one of his songs for a movie. Music critic Stephen Hayden actually tweeted, "Leach complains that host Buddy is not producing enough blood." Musician David Crosby of the Byrds, Crosby, Stills, and Nash said that "you are a greedy little shit, Daniel Ek." British alt-pop artist Shura said that in some respects, Ek is actually right, and I quote, "We do need to work more, but that's not going to be possible for a lot of people. The system that Daniel Ek is talking about can work, but it can only work for a small group of artists. So he's got a point. It's just that his point sucks." This and more goes to show how much of a pushback the concept is getting from many Western artists. Songwriter Zola Jesus said that it is the songwriters and the musicians that is the driving force of the music industry. All this, however, doesn't change the fact that the landscape has changed. Technology has allowed everyone and their dog to make music, make videos, and release them to the whole world without a label. The only limit is their own creativity and their willingness to pay the cut of whatever platform they're using. Practically everyone with a phone and internet connection has become a musician's competition. Shura further said that many artists, and she is one of them, don't make music for free. They need to be signed and paid before making music. Labels usually pay an artist in advance, which artists need to earn back. Again, this is understandable. Artists need to make a living from their own skills. But again, this does not change the fact that the landscape has changed. Many musicians and creators are more than willing to create the content and then release it and then hopefully just get paid later. K-pop, pre-BTS, has largely been marketing to Korea and Japan. While Japan is the second largest music market in the world, it's also largely supported its own industry. What K-pop missed in size, it made up in frequency, releasing more songs more often. Unwittingly, this formula became its saving grace against the onslaught of content courtesy of social media platforms like TikTok and YouTube. What many successful K-pop groups did right was to release not just frequently, but also release songs with high quality. Many Western artists will stick to their guns, but many new artists, especially the ones who didn't know a world where millions of content become available every second, will follow this cadence. But only those who can supplement the frequency with quality will truly make a mark. Narratives and mythology. Many of these acts will create their own narratives, emphasize the message behind their songs, tie the different marketing materials to create stories, narratives, and messages and universes where they will base their merch materials and other non-musical ventures. If there is one thing the world has learned from BTS is that people latch on to narratives and that you don't have to dumb it down for people to understand. Hollywood has a general rule. Marketing in general actually has a general rule. Narratives need to be understandable to a fifth grader. But BTS has been creating spectacular modern art with fragmented and non-chronological plot exploration that touch themes of friendship, hopes, dreams, families, and sacrifices interwoven in the creases of time, mythology, and untamed memories. In other words, they had never dumbed it down. Quite the contrary, everything is elevated through complex storytelling elements and mangled revelations. Yet, millions followed, decoded, cheered, and appreciated stories between the lyrics and the songs. It has quite literally become an integral part of BTS's mainstream success. Many acts will try to use the same device and same formula and same strategy, but few will manage to create a story compelling enough to reel in new audiences. Independent artists will dominate physical sales. Mainstream labels will continue to dominate streaming and radio. It seems that everything in the global music industry is okay. And when I say global, I actually mean US. According to the Recording Industry Association of America, or RIAA, the music industry has been growing consistently for 7 years. In the first half of 2024, the music industry grew 9.4% for an all-time high of first half of 8.4 billion. But this is where you need to dig a little deeper, because while numbers don't lie, it can be miscontextualized and misinterpreted. First, we need to understand that when we talk money, the number doesn't equate to value. Simply put, a $1 bill by itself has no value. If you want to know the value of $1, you need to know what it can buy. The value of $1 changes, always for the worse. Think about gas prices. Prior to the pandemic, for $3, you can actually buy a gallon of gas. Now, it can cost you $7 depending on where you are. This means $1 now is less valuable than the $1 2 years ago. That is called inflation. When the Record Industry Association of America said the U.S. recording industry's gross revenue has gone up 15.9 billion in 2022 to 16.8 billion in 2023, assuming that the first half is going to double, then the first thing to consider is inflation. That presents another complication. The US inflation rate has been manipulated so bad it's not even funny. Official current inflation rate is 3.1. Yet, even McDonald's is actually hiking their prices threefold. Gas has gone up 200% in the last 2 years. The bottom line is that you can't take it at face value. For a revenue to truly grow, it has to outpace real inflation significantly. If the US music industry clocks in 6.8 billion for 2023, again assuming that they will double the first half revenue, it would mean less than 6% of revenue increase in real monetary value. that's a loss. More importantly, it is critical to look into the revenue sources. For the past several years, streaming has coughed up 84% of the total revenue. While that may be good for the owners of the streaming platforms, it is not so good for musicians. Spotify pays artists approximately 0.00437 cents per stream. Other streaming platforms aren't too far behind. That means the growth isn't distributed evenly. Artists will have to get their income from revenue sources that are much more profitable for them, like physical CDs, vinyls, and even cassette tapes. And for them to sell enough, they need fans that will be loyal enough to buy their CDs even though they are on streaming platforms. New type of media format. In the long run, and that could mean decades, global financial success will heavily tilt towards non-mainstream labels and independent artists. Along with that is the rise of new type of media, one that is heavily influenced by the end consumers, the fans. Fans will start to expect and demand better journalism and better opinions from entertainment reporters. The days of so-called journalists who spit out information without verifying them and expressing unsupported opinions are numbered. Fans are starting to get better information with accurate details and well-supported and explained opinions. Even better, fans are starting to take it upon themselves to find ways on how to verify information and form balanced opinions. This will lead to the rise of independent media personalities that will specialize on specific topics. Those who will establish themselves to be reliable sources of information or provide unbiased and relevant information will be boosted by the fans themselves, tilting the power of influence towards those who actually deserve it. This is not to say there will be no more trashy journalism or clout chasers, but it is those who will prove themselves to be reliable, thorough, and use verified information that will be considered reliable sources. The role of gaming. In the last decade, the gaming industry has been smashing Hollywood's ass out of the park. Just in 2021, the global games market had a whopping $180 billion in revenue. In fact, gaming is bigger than Hollywood and the music industry combined and then doubled. It isn't surprising for K-pop to work with the gaming tournaments and gaming companies to expand their market. New Jeans sang the OST of Worlds or League of Legends World Championship, and Lesser FM sang the OST of Overwatch. This trend will continue, but the most significant push will be towards the creation of games based on the narrative or the music of the musical acts. There have been attempts to actually embed acts in the gaming industry more directly by creating games based on the act. BTS, GOT7, and a few others created a Superstar series, a melody game using the songs of the groups. BTS is actually the first one to deviate from this by creating role-playing games like BTS World and In the Song. I think as management companies get a better understanding of the gaming culture and industry, better games will be created that would use the likeness of different acts and combine it with the intricacy of popular games like League of Legends and Valorant. This will not just help groups appeal to new fans, it will also significantly contribute to the bottom line of management companies. AI and the Metaverse. Midnight, the alter ego of Lee Yoon, harnessed AI by translating the songs to different languages using Lee Yoon's voice. As the technology improves and evolves, more acts will start using AI to reach more fans from different countries. This will inspire regulations to make moves and protect artists' rights over their skills, likeness, and products. More entertainment companies will also start establishing their space in the metaverse to prepare for when the younger generation replaces social media with the metaverse. Now for some lighter predictions. As the US market becomes saturated with K-pop acts, companies will try to venture out of the US and some groups will appeal to certain areas or markets more than the others. The Latin American market, European market, and even Australia will find their favorite Asian acts. This is nothing new, of course. Like in Japan, there are certain K-pop groups that are more popular in Japan than they are in their home country. It might take a while for us to find another group that will actually appeal to most major music markets in the world. Solo members of a girl group. I think the reign of girl groups will continue, but in particular, a member of a girl group will have a major hit in the US. It's going to enter Billboard Hot 100 Top 20 at the very least, and it's going to sustain its position for multiple weeks. So what do you think will happen in 2024? I want to hear from you. I did this for 2023, and I think out of the 13 that I did, only one didn't happen. But it could still happen, maybe not just in 2023. But I want to hear from you. What do you think will happen? Maybe, as I've said in the intro, I don't have a third eye, I don't have a crystal ball or any kind of special skill that will allow me to see the future. But I do believe that there are people who have stronger intuition. So if you have that, let me know. Or maybe just like me, you're just using your analytical mind to sort of analyze what's going to happen in the future. Let me know. It will be fun. Let's just keep it that fun. Nothing else. Let's not take this to heart. Okay? All right. Let me know in the comment section. If you enjoyed this video, if you have any feedback, let me know in the comment section as well. Also, if you ended up liking it or enjoying it, please give it a thumbs up and hit that notification button, subscribe to the channel, and share the video if you can. All right, thank you so much. It's almost 2024. I appreciate you guys.